Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Cup English. I'm Liam.
And I'm Chloe. We're really happy you're here with us today.
Yeah, whether you're listening in the morning, during a break, or at night before bed, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
And before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow Daily Cup English.
We post new episodes every single day, so you can practice your English a little bit each day, just like having a daily cup of coffee.
Exactly. Our goal is to help you improve your English through real, natural conversations, the kind of English people actually use in daily life.
No pressure, no complicated lessons, just listening, thinking, and slowly getting more comfortable with the language.
And also getting more comfortable with life, because a lot of our topics are not just about English, but about mindset, habits, and personal growth.
Which brings us to today's topic.
Today, we're talking about something many people struggle with. Stop waiting to feel ready.
Yeah, if that sentence already makes you uncomfortable, you're probably not alone.
We hear this all the time. I'll start when I feel ready, or I'm not ready yet.
And honestly, we've both said that many times ourselves.
So today, we want to talk about what that really means, why we wait, and whether feeling ready is actually necessary.
So let's start with a simple question. Chloe, what do you think people mean when they say, "I don't feel ready"?
I think most of the time they mean they don't feel confident enough, or they're still scared.
Yeah, I agree. When people say ready, they're usually talking about emotions, not facts.
Exactly. It's not like I don't have the information. It's more like I don't feel safe yet.
Right. Feeling ready often means feeling calm, feeling confident, and feeling sure that things will go well.
And that's the problem. Life rarely gives us that feeling before we start something new.
Totally. Think about it. When was the last time you felt 100% ready before doing something important?
Honestly, almost never. New job, new relationship, even small things like speaking English with a stranger. I never felt fully ready.
Same here. I think many people imagine this perfect moment where fear disappears.
But that moment usually doesn't come.
Instead, what comes is more waiting, more thinking, more overthinking.
And the longer we wait, the bigger the thing feels in our head.
Yeah, feeling ready becomes this invisible line we think we must cross first.
But maybe that line isn't real.
Maybe it's just something we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort.
That's a tough idea, but an important one.
Because if feeling ready never comes, waiting becomes a habit.
And today, we want to gently challenge that habit. You know, when we talk about waiting to feel ready, I can think of so many moments in my life when I waited longer than I should have.
Yeah? What comes to mind first?
Well, a few years ago, I wanted to change my job. I wasn't unhappy, but I felt stuck. I knew I wanted something more meaningful.
That feeling is very familiar.
But instead of taking action, I kept telling myself, I'm not ready yet. I thought I needed more experience, more confidence, maybe more courage.
So you stayed where you were?
I did, for almost a year.
Wow.
And during that year, I didn't really prepare in a serious way. I didn't apply for jobs, I didn't talk to people, I just waited.
That's interesting, because from the outside it looks like waiting, but on the inside it feels like thinking.
Exactly. I was thinking all the time. Thinking, planning, imagining, but not moving.
So what finally changed?
One day I realized I was using not ready as an excuse. It sounded reasonable, but deep down I was just afraid of failing.
Afraid of making the wrong choice?
Yes, and afraid of disappointing people. I didn't want others to think I made a bad decision.
That fear can be very quiet, but very powerful.
It really is. And the funny thing is, I never suddenly felt ready. I just got tired of waiting.
I relate to that a lot.
What about you? Was there a time you waited too long?
Definitely. For me, it was about speaking up more, sharing my ideas, especially in group settings.
At work?
Yeah, mostly at work. I always told myself, I'll speak when I feel more confident.
And did that confidence come?
Not really. I kept watching other people share their ideas, even when their ideas weren't perfect.
That's such a common experience.
I realized something important. They weren't more confident because they were better. They were better because they practiced being confident.
That's a great way to put it.
The more I waited, the smaller I felt, and the more difficult speaking up became in my mind.
So waiting actually made it harder.
Exactly. When I finally started speaking, it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't as bad as I imagined.
It never is.
And looking back, I don't regret the mistakes I made when I spoke up. I regret the times I stayed silent.
That really says a lot.
Yeah, waiting felt safe, but it slowly took away my confidence.
I think many people can relate to that. Waiting feels comfortable at first, but heavy over time.
And that's why this topic matters so much. You know, listening to both of our stories, I noticed something. When we waited, it didn't feel like fear.
Yeah, it felt like being responsible.
Exactly. It felt like preparation.
Like we were being smart, careful, mature.
But if we're honest, a lot of that preparation was just fear in a nicer form.
That's such a good way to say it. Fear doesn't always show up as panic or anxiety.
Sometimes fear wears very polite clothes.
It says things like, just a little more time, or I need to be better first.
Or, what if I fail? What if people judge me?
And those thoughts sound reasonable. They don't sound weak.
That's why they're so powerful.
I think many people believe fear means you're not ready, but maybe fear actually means you care.
Yes, you care about the outcome. You care about doing well. You care about how others see you.
And instead of accepting that fear is part of the process, we try to remove it completely.
But waiting doesn't remove fear. It usually makes it bigger.
Because the longer you wait, the more time your mind has to imagine worst-case scenarios.
And suddenly, a small step feels like a huge risk.
I've noticed that people often say, I'm still preparing, but there's no clear plan.
Right. No deadline, no next step.
Just endless thinking.
And thinking feels productive, but it doesn't change anything.
At some point, waiting stops being preparation and starts being avoidance.
That's a hard truth, but an important one.
Because once we see fear for what it really is, we can stop letting it control our timing. And we can start asking a better question. Not, do I feel ready, but what small step can I take anyway?
I think this is a really important point to talk about, because not all waiting is bad.
Yeah, that's true. Waiting itself isn't the enemy.
Right. There's a big difference between waiting to prepare and waiting because you're afraid.
Healthy waiting has a purpose.
And it has a direction.
For example, if you're learning English, it makes sense to wait a little and practice before giving a big presentation.
You might study, listen more, or practice with a friend.
That's preparation. That's active.
But endless waiting feels different.
Yeah, endless waiting doesn't move you forward.
It sounds like, I'll start next month, and then next month becomes next year.
Or, I just need to feel more confident, but you don't know how confident is enough.
That's a key sign, when you don't know what ready actually looks like.
Another sign is when your reasons never change.
Same excuses, different day.
Exactly. And deep down, you know you're not really preparing.
You're just waiting for fear to disappear.
But fear doesn't disappear by waiting.
It disappears by experience.
I love that. Experience is what slowly reduces fear.
Healthy waiting usually has a timeline.
Like, I'll prepare for 2 weeks, then I'll try.
Or, I'll take this small step by Friday.
Endless waiting has no end date.
It's open-ended.
And that's dangerous because it feels safe.
But safety without growth becomes a comfort zone.
And comfort zones are very quiet places.
Nothing really goes wrong there, but nothing really grows either.
So maybe the question isn't, should I wait or not?
Maybe it's, am I waiting with intention?
Or am I just avoiding the discomfort of starting?
That's an honest question we can all ask ourselves.
And the answer might be uncomfortable, but it's also freeing.
You know, this is the part where things really start to change.
Yeah, because if waiting doesn't make us ready, then what does?
I think the answer is simple, but not easy. Action.
Action comes first, not confidence, not clarity.
Most people think they need to feel ready before they act.
But in real life, it usually works the opposite way.
You act first, and then you slowly start to feel ready.
I remember the first time I spoke English in front of a group.
How did it go?
Honestly, I was nervous the whole time. My hands were shaking.
That sounds about right.
But after it was over, something changed. I didn't feel perfect, but I felt braver.
Because you proved to yourself that you could survive it.
Exactly, and that feeling never comes from waiting.
Confidence is built through experience, not imagination.
When you imagine doing something, your mind focuses on what could go wrong.
But when you actually do it, you deal with reality, not fear.
And reality is usually less scary than our thoughts.
Every action, even a small one, gives you information.
You learn what works, what doesn't, and what you can handle.
That's how readiness is created, step by step.
Not in one big moment, but in many small moments.
I think people underestimate how powerful small actions are.
They think this step is too small to matter.
But small steps change how you see yourself.
You start to think, maybe I can do this.
And that thought is much stronger than motivation.
Because it comes from experience, not hope.
So instead of asking, do I feel ready?
Maybe we should ask, what can I try today?
Just one thing, one action.
Not to be perfect, just to begin.
Because readiness is not a starting point.
It's a result. I think this is where a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah, they hear take action and imagine something huge.
Like quitting their job tomorrow.
Or speaking perfectly in English in front of everyone.
And that idea feels overwhelming.
So instead of taking a big leap, they take no step at all.
But stopping waiting doesn't mean doing something dramatic.
It means doing something possible.
Something small enough that you don't freeze.
Small steps are less scary, but they're still powerful.
Because they break the habit of waiting.
For example, if you want to improve your English, your first step doesn't have to be a long conversation.
It could be one sentence.
One question.
Or even just saying hi instead of staying silent.
That small action sends a message to your brain.
It says I can move.
And once you move, even a little, the fear changes.
It doesn't disappear, but it becomes quieter.
Small steps also help you build trust with yourself.
That's really important.
When you keep your promises, even small ones, you start to believe in yourself again.
And belief grows through action, not waiting.
Another thing I like about small steps is that they don't need perfect timing.
You don't need the perfect mood.
Or the perfect plan.
You just need a moment of willingness.
And those moments come more often than we think.
We just ignore them because we're waiting for something bigger.
So maybe the goal isn't to feel brave.
Maybe it's just to feel willing.
Willing to try.
Willing to be a beginner.
Willing to take one small step today.
Because small steps don't ask for courage.
They create it. If you're listening to this right now, there's a good chance you're waiting for something.
Maybe you're waiting to start something new.
Or waiting to speak up.
Or waiting for the right time that never seems to come.
We just want you to know you're not weak for waiting.
You're human.
Most of us were taught to avoid mistakes.
To be careful, to not embarrass ourselves.
So if you're waiting, it probably means you care.
But caring doesn't mean you have to stay stuck.
You don't need to feel confident to move forward.
You just need to feel honest with yourself.
Ask yourself this: what am I really afraid of?
And then ask another question. Is waiting helping me?
Sometimes the answer is uncomfortable.
But discomfort doesn't mean danger.
It usually means growth.
If you've been waiting for a long time, maybe today is not about a big change.
Maybe it's about one small decision.
Send the message.
Say the sentence.
Try the thing you've been avoiding.
Not perfectly, just honestly.
You don't need permission to begin.
And you don't need to feel ready.
You just need to be willing to take the next step.
And once you take that step, even a small one,
you'll realize you were more ready than you thought. You know, as we come to the end of today's episode, I just want to say this. If you're waiting to feel ready, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, waiting doesn't mean you're weak. It usually means you care.
And caring is not a bad thing.
But sometimes, caring turns into pressure.
And pressure makes us freeze.
So maybe today isn't about forcing yourself to change everything.
Maybe it's just about noticing where you've been waiting.
Not judging yourself.
Just being honest.
Because readiness is not something you find.
It's something you build.
Slowly.
Quietly.
One small action at a time.
If there's one thing we hope you take from today's episode, it's this. You don't need to feel ready to begin.
Beginning is what helps you feel ready.
So wherever you are right now, listening, thinking, maybe doubting.
We hope you'll take one small step after this episode ends.
Not tomorrow, not next week.
Just one step today.
And remember, you're not doing this alone.
We're here with you every day.
If you enjoy these conversations, don't forget to subscribe and follow Daily Cup English.
We release new podcast episodes daily so you can keep practicing English and mindset together.
Thank you for spending your time with us today.
Take care of yourself.
And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Right here on Daily Cup English.